and welcome back to Alcohol and Anime Night. My name is Scott, and you're here watching the show that gets you drunker, that gets you fatter, and in this case, gives you a sexy sense of deja vu. Stay tuned. Alright everybody, welcome back. I apologize for the wait between videos. It's been wild around here. There's been a lot going on, and I am trying to fit the filming schedule in as tight as I can, so I'm going to do a much better job of that in the future. We've got some cool things coming up, but I'll get to that to the end of the show today. Tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to get right down to it. We're going to talk about the intellectually stimulating series Masou Gakuen HxH, which stands for Heart Hybrid. Our story begins right away in the aftermath of... Actually, you can't really say anything about Maso Gakuen without addressing the eerily similar elephant or elephants in the room, which is Infinite Stratos. Now, Infinite Stratos was a show way back in 2011 when, like, Thomas Jefferson was walking his saber-toothed tiger around his castle, or however time works. In any case, it was a show that ran in 2011 until 2014. It was about 48 episodes, so 2 seasons. And the premise of the show, the plot, wasn't particularly groundbreaking, but it was a good show. It centered around a male protagonist. His name was Ichika, who found himself able to pilot a mech suit of some type that previously was only able to be operated by females. Now, the small, wearable kind of tech armor that he had allowed the user to fly. They could fight. They could do so in inexplicably skimpy outfits for everyone. I mean, seriously, bro. Midriff, what's up? It was odd. But in any case, all of this was to defend the planet from some scary baddies while building a harem of sexy ladies and finding themselves in comedically sexual situations. The end, roll credits. And it was a fine show, and everything was well in the anime world. Now fast forward to 2016, where we're speaking about Maso Gakuen. Now this hits the scenes with an avant-garde show that features a male protagonist, Kitsune Hida, who finds himself able to pilot a kind of mech suit that previously was only able to be piloted by females. The small tech armor allows them to fly and fight and do so in inexplicably skimpy outfits, all while being defenders of the planet against some scary baddies while building a harem of ladies. But it does so as a thinly veiled hentai, so totally original. I mean, it's essentially a porn parody of Infinite Stratos, straight up. It's really hard to call it anything but that, except without the fact that those porn parodies would be referencing the source material in a hilarious way rather than pretending that they came up with the source material and pretending that it was whole cloth their idea. Anyway, where were we? Yes. The story begins in the aftermath of interdimensional, maybe alien attack. Who cares? And humanity has been pretty much moved off of the mainland onto these like floating cities. And so, you know, the U.S. is over here, Japan's over here, and they have these floating cities. And they're kind of building up their defenses, trying to figure out what they're going to do. And our hero, Kitsune Hida, he finds himself on the way to the Strategic Defense Academy Ataraxia, summoned by his sister, who is kind of in charge there. He soon is thrust into a fight situation with these intergalactic, maybe alien beings. Again, it's not really that clear. And he discovers that he has the ability to essentially power up the ladies that are fighting through various acts that he is able to perform with them, with varying degrees of power-ups depending on how wild those acts may be. And in that case, it activates what they call the heart hybrid, and that unlocks these special powers and abilities. They call it Magitech, and extra special cool weapons that kind of end up coming out of it. So the plot basically centers around Kizuna getting to freak with all the girls, and in various ways, despite sometimes them, kind of not being super, they don't kind of don't believe it, but it seems pretty obvious that it's happening to everyone. They're understandably not too keen on it. Weirdly enough, they have this this portable shag palace that if they're in the middle of a battle and they're running low on energy, they can throw down this shag palace, and he can go inside and change the mood lighting, and it's like a VR simulation to make it better. It is so silly but it's not a comedy. They take it seriously, which I'll be honest. And in episode 10, there's actually a weird situation where they're trying to get one of the other girls to join forces. I'll let you figure that one out for yourself. That one's wildly inappropriate. But I'll be honest, it wasn't for me. It's a thinly veiled hentai. It's basically the plumber comes over and then it's just an excuse to have crazy stuff happen. Now, don't get me wrong. I think you guys should know by now, I am no prude. I seek out some of the stuff like this. I want to have fun. I love the R-rated stuff. But it's also got to be cool and fun. Something like Ishizoku Reviewers. It was self-referential. It realized how silly it was, and that's what made it fun, because it was constantly referencing hilarious things. It was a comedy, and it worked because it wasn't trying to be too serious. Because this actually takes itself too seriously, it's just not that good. And, I mean, you can fast forward to the good parts if you want. They're okay. There's plenty of that in every episode. Lots of boobies, lots of whatever else you want to see. Again, varying degrees of it. I just can't recommend this one. It's not that good. And Infinite Stratos is pretty good. Again, it's much lighter on the adult content. It's more of kind of a PG-13, but lots of fun anyway. I did have to mention that something was kind of funny. In the last episode, and it's spoilers, but I don't care. I don't think you're going to watch it anyway. One of the main characters comes out, and the main villains, and she's wearing what is essentially, for all intents and purposes, the Iron Man Hulkbuster armor. It's the same color. He has it has a pulsar, or the repeller beam, whatever Iron Man called it, in the palm. It's the same thing. And her head's sticking out the top of it. And I was like, that is clearly the Hulkbuster armor. It looks exactly the same. And again, it'd be funny if they referenced it, if they made kind of a joke about it, but they don't. They're like, no, we totally came up with this. That's what makes it kind of weird, is that, again, even kind of those adult parodies of Star Wars and stuff, they're meant to be funny in a sexy way and stuff like that. So I get it. There's actually something funny there. This, some of the battles are cool. Some of the mech armor is cool. And I really like that stuff. In fact, if you, Infinite Stratos is good, which again, this is clearly source material from this, but there's two other ones I really do recommend. I don't want to shit on this one without actually giving you some other ones to say. There's one that's an old school one. It's called Strike Witches, which is really fun. Equally insane. It's literally these girls, they have to be in their underwear, and they put on these leg, almost leg airplanes, and then they can fly around with these leg airplanes, and then for, again, no reason that I can possibly think of, every time they put on this armor, they also grow cat ears and a tail, and then fly around in their underwear, shooting World War II weapons and stuff. It's a ton of fun. It's silly, and it's got way better plot development than this, and it's still got plenty of that kind of PG-13 element. Another one that I do recommend is The Saga of Tanya the Evil, which, without getting into a huge review of that, basically this dude who's a 40-year-old salaryman dies, gets reincarnated in a alternate universe where he is reincarnated as a girl, and it's in a kind of an alternate timeline World War II, where it has nothing to do with the Holocaust or Jews or Hitler. It's just kind of a Germany-esque, and like their names are different, but it's clearly World War II. And then she develops this like flying thing, but they're shooting all these cool World War II weapons, and they're dressed in all the garb. And that one's really cool. And that one's more serious, and a lot of action and kind of historical, like historical alternate timeline. So Strike Witches, Infinite Stratos, Saga of Tanya the Evil. They got plenty of girls flying around shooting stuff. Go with one of those, but I would say pass on this one. If you watch the first episode, you'll kind of know what you're getting into. But I don't really recommend it. And I thought, and the animation's like not that good, and it feels like you're in a time machine. But anyway, I'm glad that I came across a stinker, because I haven't actually come across a bad one in a while, and sometimes I think the reviews are better when I don't like it. So anyway, that was the review of that Masou Gakuen. Now, for our alcohol tonight, I want to give you guys something that I came across kind of by accident. I was having a Halloween party, and somebody brought by the Sonoran Brewing Company White Chocolate Ale, and it's actually spelled different. I'll zoom in on it so you can actually see it. And I looked at it, I was like, well, I'm not really particularly a fan of white chocolate or chocolate in general. I'm not really a huge fan of it. And he said, you know what, I'll leave one there in your refrigerator and have it at your leisure. And so I tried it later on in the week, and I really liked it. It was totally unusual. It's definitely sweet. And if you like the Orange Blossom, which I believe is Papago Brewing Company, it's got that sweet kind of ale. I love sweet, and that worked for me. So give this a go. This is really unique. It's more of an ale than a beer, of course, but I really liked it, and I'm so glad. I believe it was Dirk who brought this by. So Dirk, if you're listening, thank you. That was a cool thing to have for the review, and I'm hoping to get more cool stuff like that in the future. So check that one out. I'll put a link somewhere down below in the description. Now I want to talk a little bit about the future, if I may. I want to talk about some things that are going to be happening for the end of the year here and the new year. So I am going to be working on doing some additional things. We're still going to do the reviews, obviously. We're going to do the alcohol, obviously. That's not going to change. But I want to start opening it up into some product things, unboxings. I always got crazy stuff coming in here. I like to order stuff online all the time. And I think it'd be fun to share some of that stuff with you as it comes in, because I'm excited about it, and I figure maybe some of you guys might be too. So watch for some of that in the future. I'm going to check out a couple of these subscription boxes. The first one that's going to be coming is called Manga Spice Cafe, which I'll do that one. We'll see it all together. And I might even give the Otaku box a go. They have like an itchy option, which allows you to have some like crazy fan service stuff. I'm not sure if it's really worth it to get that, because it's not like I can really hang it up around here. If you got kids and stuff, that would be wildly inappropriate. So I don't know, but I might give that a go. But I also have a couple of other things coming in on the topic of kind of the flying mech girls. I ordered the 30 Second Sisters Bandai model kit, and that has like this crazy like cat mech girl, and I pre-ordered it. I saw it and it looked pretty cool. I thought it'd be a neat project to do, and I'm going to share that with you guys as well. We'll unbox it together. We'll take a look at it together, and I feel like it fits into the topics that we look into. So anyway, it's been great talking anime with you guys. I know that I never really ask about this stuff, but please comment, like, subscribe. I know everybody says that and it's so cliche, but it really does help. For anybody who actually does this stuff, it makes a giant difference when people interact with the things for two ways. Number one, YouTube sees that people are interacting with it and it changes the way the algorithm works. And the second thing is it actually is feedback for me and for other creators that want to be able to improve the channel and that want to be able to get you guys things that are more interesting. There may be things that you guys are just like, no, bro, I'm not even kind of interested in this. Or you might be like, you know what, the lighting's bad, I can't see your face, or your microphone sucks, or whatever it is. Some of those comments are constructive criticism that people can use. So I encourage you, not just on this video, but all the videos you watch, please comment and let your creators know what they're doing right and what improvements they can make. Make it creative. Don't just be a troll, but hey, even trolls are fun sometimes. So it's been great. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who didn't already eat their food and everything. It's been great talking anime with you. Until next time, kampai!